So you're looking for the best physical damage persona in Strikers, and if you have played Persona 5, you would know that Yoshitsune is the go-to guy for your crits and just massive physical damage. And that statement still stands here in Persona 5 Strikers. While there is nothing in this game that is weak to physical attacks, this build relies on landing criticals and capitalizing on technicals for damage. And one cool thing about this build is that you can actually carry over 5 skills from the fusion path, which is quite beneficial as Yoshitsune himself does not have the most loaded arsenal. So then what does Yoshitsune learn innately? First, and by far the most important, is Hasotobi, as this will be his main skill to deal damage with and innately has high crit. Next, Rebel Soul is just nice to have because it allows you to charge showtimes faster, and therefore it leads you to more knockdowns, which allows you to use combo skills, perhaps to charge or concentrate. It's just free damage. Lastly, I have Charge as his last move, while I personally would switch to Mara to cast Charge without using SP. If you don't have Mara or have excess SP to use, then just charging on Yoshitsune himself is pretty easy. Now for what you need to acquire, first you'd want Technical Adept. Why? Because this will increase your technical damage, and since this build is all about farming for crits and getting insane technical damage, the skill is a must. Next would be Null Nuke. While this is not necessarily the most important skill, it is a quality of life skill that lets you just be more OP than you already are. Spellmaster is actually a bit of a wild card, since you would think that SP wouldn't be a factor here, but this actually allows you to cast Charge with less SP cost, so if you aren't comfortable with casting Charge with Mara, or any other persona with Charge as a combo skill, I recommend this skill. Enduring Soul is more of a guarantee that you wouldn't be just knocked out randomly, since you're going to be burning a lot of HP, it's probably best to have this as a safety net. Knockdown style is more of a plus to criticals, as this allows you to deal more damage to an enemy's armor, especially when they are downed. And since you're going to be hitting weaknesses to technicals to crits, this skill will aid your cause in keeping the bosses down. Now that we have our build established, you need a level 50 Arahabaki and Okuninushi, as well as a level 61 Yatagarasu, and lastly a level 73 Siegfried. Before we talk about the fusion path to acquire this god Yoshitsune, I need to place a quick disclaimer, and that is the fact that I am transferring my max Black Frost build to this Yoshitsune, meaning that if your Black Frost, assuming you have one, doesn't quite have the same skills mine has, then the path of fusion will be different for you. So I'll leave the video of my Black Frost build down in the description below, as personally, that build really isn't something you want to miss out on. With that out of the way, let's start with the easy part. Siegfried will be the bearing of Enduring Soul, and you have to get him to level 73 for him to learn it, but other than that, that's really all you need from him. Next is Okuninushi, and he literally doesn't offer anything in this build, so just summon him, get him to the appropriate level, and you don't have to worry about him. Now here's where we get to the complicated part. Let's start with the easier of two and acquire Technical Adept. Forneus learns Technical Adept innately at level 64, but then you have to transfer it to a Kali, then to a Lamia, then to an Eligor, and lastly to an Arahabaki. As far as Null Nuke and Spellmaster goes, this one originates back to my Black Frost build, which also originates back to my Alice build. So again, if you haven't seen those videos, the link will be in the description. But once you have that Black Frost built into the fusion path, it goes from Black Frost to a High Pixie, then to a Barith, then to a Huapo, then to a Lilith, then to a Forneus, then to a Barith again, then to an Orthrus, then to a Mothman, then to an Arahabaki, and lastly to the Yatagarasu. This is a long path, so saving in between is recommended in case of fusion alarms. Now, while on the topic of Yatagarasu, make sure to get him to level 61, as that is how you will acquire knockdown style, but after that, you will be good to fuse the Yoshitsune. Understand that Yoshitsune learns all of his innate skills at level 87, with the skill specifically being Hasotobi. So just keep that in mind when you first acquire him. Now, as usual, I will more than likely use this Yoshitsune in a future build, and knowing this, just know that he can be fused into a Seth or a Mara, and while those are not exactly low ingredient persona, they path to other lower personas, meaning once again this persona skills can be transferred. That being said, I am still rounding out the rest of my team, and as each persona is being finalized and built, I will use them in the following videos as an easy way to carry skills over. So I recommend that you start watching over my other builds, as this will allow you to create perhaps your own insane builds with your favorite persona. Either way, there are still many more personas that I've yet to cover, but they will be coming soon. So for now, thanks for watching, enjoy the combo showcase with Yoshitsune, and I'll see you guys in the next one.